Hey guys, it's Babbling Blitzen Games here. I didn't see you guys here. I was just getting into the age-old tradition of decorating the Christmas tree. Where did this come from? I don't get many of these gifts these days. I don't get many gifts. Ever since Pop left the house. It's Pokemon Channel, the game I hinted at reviewing last video, and also the game I've reviewed 3 times already. What a huge surprise. No matter what I do, I can't seem to escape this game. It sort of follows me everywhere I go in life. I rented it every week from the local family video when I was 8, and now here I am at 23 years old and it's renting a cozy spot in my brain. I also already have a video about it on my channel from when I was like 16. And on top of this, there was another Pokemon Channel video that was one of the first videos I had ever made. I took this one off of YouTube a long time ago, and the only place it exists now is my hard drive. Every day it tries to escape to wreak havoc upon the world, and I hope that I'm long gone when it finally does. The reason I wanted to make a third video about this game lies within my last Pokemon Channel video. I was so mean to it, to the point where it was like the video equivalent of me giving it a swirly. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I ever hated the game like that. I was playing it up for the camera for whatever reason. The truth is, the game has a special place in my heart, and I wanted to right my previous wrongs and make a video that more accurately shows how I feel about it. With that being said, what is Pokemon Channel, metaphysically speaking? It's a game where you stare at a Pikachu while he wanders around and does funny things. You also take Pikachu to different areas where he does more funny things. And in these areas you can talk to other Pokemon who all have special trivia questions prepared for you, like, which of these descriptions of Goldeen is wrong? The Water Dancer, the Underwater Queen, or the Storm-Bringing Maiden? And if you're wondering, Goldeen is the self-proclaimed Water Dancer and Underwater Queen, but not the Storm-Bringing Maiden. She's quite the humble and merciful Water Queen. If you get the question right, you get the Pokemon's Nice card. And Nice cards are basically Pokemon trading cards, but as Professor Oak says, they are very nice. The main premise of this game, however, is that there's this new TV network called Pokemon Channel, and a rare Pokemon called a Pikachu wanders into your house, and Professor Oak wants you, Steve, to observe how this Pikachu likes the TV network. You start with a certain number of TV stations to watch, and every day in real time, you unlock more to watch. So you watch the new TV stations, meet some new Pokemon, watch Pikachu do some funny things, and then report your scientific Pikachu findings to Professor Oak so that you can do it all again tomorrow. And hey, I might as well call you Professor Oak because I'm about to report all of my findings from these TV stations to you. The first channel you watch is the Anime Channel. This channel details the Pichu brothers' adventures to find an invitation for a party that Meowth is throwing. A new episode is added each day, and eventually some crazy stuff in the game that I'll detail later happens to get to the last episode. The anime itself is pretty cute, but I've seen it so many times over the 15 years that I've played this game that I just kind of leave it playing and do something else for 5 minutes when it's going on. My favorite part has to be Cubone banging on the trash cans as loudly as possible, and then getting yelled at by Meowth and going into a deep depression. This reaction and music that goes with this is just hilariously over the top. I just imagine him reacting this way when he runs out of chicken tendies or something. The other stations range from stuff you'd expect to see in a TV network like a news channel to the Egg Channel, where the whole world can witness the glorious gift of a new Pokemon being born. You also get money if you correctly guess which Pokemon is burdened with life. This channel is hilarious to me because the eggs take about as long to hatch as they would in real life sometimes. The first one takes like 5 minutes, but eventually they take like a real day to hatch, which gave me something to look forward to when I was 8, but I don't have the patience for today. This channel, along with several of the other channels, falls into the useless category of the Pokemon Channel Venn diagram. All of these channels serve almost no purpose, and I use most of them like once per playthrough, but their existence is funny. There's the Relaxation Channel, which is where you watch a Mareep jump over a fence. That's literally all it is. I think it was actually a bit ahead of its time, because 24/7 live streams of this, where it counts to infinity with relaxing music in the background, would possibly take off in today's economy. The problem is I'm not going to sit here and leave my GameCube on all night while I'm going to sleep, so this channel doesn't get much playtime for me. The next channel in the useless part of the bar graph is Odd One Out, which is honestly my least favorite of the channels. You just watch a bunch of oddish walk out onto the screen and guess whether there's an even or odd amount of oddish. If you guess correctly, you get money, but sometimes it takes a while. And the longer it takes for you to submit your guess, the less money you get. So there are more efficient ways to get money in the game. And look, I love Oddish as much as the next guy, but this just isn't fun, even to the biggest Oddish super fans. I think that we could just acknowledge that the only reason that this is in the game is that somebody came up with the pun Odd One Out and liked it so much that they did everything they could to get it in the game. And I respect the grind. But I think we should just move on with our day to the next tier of the tier list, the useless and exceptionally funny tier. These games serve almost no impact on your progress in the game, but I go to them a lot because the content inside of them is funny. Whereas just the concept of channels like the Egg channel existing is funny, but actually watching them is kind of boring because I'm just staring at an egg. That probably doesn't make any sense, but I'm going with it. An example of this type of channel is Chancey's Fortune Cookie, where you can choose one of 5 fortune cookies to know what your fortune is for the day. I personally would have loved for Chancey's Fortune Cookies to be replaced with Fortune Eggs, because it would have fit the Chancey theme better. Perhaps they thought that the egg content of the game was a little bit too high with the egg channel already existing, so 1 Chancey egg instead of 6 would be better for their cholesterol. However, I personally think there should be no limit on how much egg content is in the game. I also just normally wouldn't have pegged Chancey as a fortune teller, but I'm proven wrong here because her fortunes always keep me coming back. Fortunes like your face is on your front side so you'll always be looking forward, and you have more chance than Chancey got me through the hard life of being an 8-year-old. That's a greater than 85% chance of chicken tendies. The next channel is Smoochum Shape Up, which is where you can learn some new workout techniques from Ruchu the Smoochum. And there's really no joke that I can make about this, so just absorb it. It's like a train wreck, you can't look away from it. And that's why I just keep coming back to it. Ruchu's twin sister Moochu hosts the ranking channel where you get the spiciest Pokemon rankings. She ranks Pokemon by points, which I assume are votes by other Pokemon, but it never really specifies, so I'm going to assume the rank by something super specific like opacity or viscosity. She then has the Pokemon community vote between 2 choices. These choices range from stuff that makes sense like tag or hide and seek, to 2 unrelated things like paper airplane or grapes. It doesn't really make any sense, but these are the sort of questions that keep me coming back. And if you're curious, I'm going with grapes because they taste good and they can do a lot more damage than a paper airplane. Ruchu ends things by doing the Pokemon channel equivalent of your Spotify Wrapped, where information like how many times you've changed channels and how many times you've visited certain areas is presented to you, and then Ruchu yells at you because you're a disappointment. The last type of channel in the Pokemon TV channel pie chart is channels that are both useful and exceptionally funny. The first is Slowpoke's Weather Service, where a very methodical Slowpoke slowly walks back and forth to generate the data for the upcoming weather. He then points his tail at one of the 3 ancient weather symbols on this board, and his prediction instantly comes true like a flash. The weather that Slowpoke chooses and the time of day determine which Pokemon appear to you when you go outside. So if you want fresh new nice cards, you're going to have to keep coming back to this. It also has some of the greatest music of all time. It's so good that I use it in every video. The last thing is that this Slowpoke is not only a weather god, but he's gigantic. I was shocked and starstruck to see him in person because he's one of my favorites. Might have had to change my pants after that one. If you want to know what's going on in the world, there's the PNF News Station. It's the source for all of your Pokemon news, hosted by the ever-lovable Psyduck. I must say that Psyduck was the perfect choice for the host for this because he's super cute, he makes funny noises, and he makes funny faces. What more could you want? This channel always starts with Psyduck's reporter Meowth giving an interview to a random Pokemon. And he starts every interview off by letting you know that
I'm here on the scene,
and spends the whole interview trying to act like he's listening. Psyduck then tells you some of the hottest news stories that are happening that day, and I'm going to share my favorite one to you. It's called What is Natu Looking At? Natu is known for staring at what is seemingly nothing. While it is staring, which is all the time, Natu does not blink. We asked Natu personally what it was seeing in this state. Natu replied, eternity. This channel is actually useful because the news stories give you hints on where and when to find some of the Pokemon, so that you could bolster your nice card collection. If you don't want to get your nice cards through the hard work of visiting every Pokemon in the world, you could always do it by just having a lot of money. And Quiz Wobbuffet is by far the best way to get cash in the game. It's a game show hosted by the quick-witted Wobbuffet, where 3 Pokemon are asked to identify other Pokemon based on their cry, silhouette, or by getting a small glimpse of them. Each time the participant gets a question right, they're dropped down further, and if they get to the bottom, they win. They don't win a prize or anything, but they get something much better. They get to avoid Wobbuffet's disappointment. The important part is that you get 2 opportunities per game show to answer a question of your own, and you get massive cash if you get it right. The questions are also super easy, and a pro speedrunning trick is to flip the channels to skip parts of the show straight to the part where you get the answer to the questions. This makes it by far the most effective way to get money. And also, I just kind of enjoy watching this show more than the other shows where you get money. I just like watching some of the contestants guess stuff that doesn't make any sense at all. I also like when someone is 1 question away from winning, and somebody else, who has no chance of winning at all, just answers the question really quickly so that the person who is about to win just doesn't win. And the only thing you have to watch out for is that Pikachu is a little bit of a stinker. He clicks the answer to the question sometimes and he's almost always wrong. So you have to be fast and get it before him. And thinking about it, he's kind of a stinker at every opportunity he can get. He blows up your TV, he tries to give your stuff away and cries when you won't give it away. And one time he got caught in an infinite loop of asking if he could mess with the TV buttons even though I was watching something. Worst of all is that devilish look that he gives you. But he's cute, so it's fine by me. And yes, before somebody asked, I named him Fish Magnet. I guarantee that I'm the only person who's ever played this game and named the Pikachu Fish Magnet. Fish Magnet is not just a stinker, however. He's a materialistic stinker and he wants you to buy every single thing. That's where my favorite channel, Shopping Squirrel, comes in. First off, let's just admire Shopping Squirrel. Look at his sleek shades, his charisma, his can-do attitude. This guy is who I strive to be in life. Every episode, Shopping Squirrel shows you 3 items that you could buy, ranging from plushies to nice cards to bus tickets to new areas. And Fish Magnet wants you to buy every single one of them no matter how much it costs. The new area tickets are essential because they let you go to Cobalt Coast, Viridian Forest, and Mount Snowfall. The last 2 areas are essential to finish the game, and Cobalt Coast just kind of brings the vibes. You can go fishing and Fish Magnet tries to drown himself. Mount Snowfall is the only excuse I have for this being a Christmas video because it's snowy. And Jigglypuff gives a sort of Christmassy concert with a Kecleon who just awkwardly stands there the whole time. And then he still asks you to write him fan mail to get his nice card. And Viridian Forest is just a forest. The most fun you could have there is trying to get Fish Magnet to eat random mushrooms. These gifts are delivered to you the next day by Delibird, and with some items like the bus passes, they're delivered instantaneously. Decorating my house with these various plushies and posters was just amazing as a kid. I'd wake up at like 8 every morning to receive all of the stuff that I ordered. The only problem is you can't choose where you put everything. I wish you could just like rearrange your room how you'd want to. But I still had a lot of fun with it. And obviously this was just a way to sell more Pokemon plushies and Pokemon cards, and it absolutely worked on me, but I had fun doing it, and that's all that matters. You could also get a game system from Shopping Squirrel that has 2 unimpressive games on it, but he refused to sell it to me this time. It was very strange. I was watching the channel repeatedly trying to get it to show up, and the same things were just coming up over and over again. This spooking was brought to you by the Smeargle Paint. It lets you paint over still frames from the TV shows and then frame them. The tools it gives you are super limited, and when you change colors you hear one of the most horrifying sounds of all time, but I found some funny things to do with it. There's this one that I humbly like to call the beginning of the universe. And also, you can make the game a little less G-rated, like I did here with Seduction. And once you're done with the painting, you get to display it in all of its glory on the Smeargle Art channel, where Smeargle makes a bunch of important observations on your piece. It's always super funny to see him saying all of this fancy stuff about a painting like this. And that's all of the channels. But hold up, the last part of the anime is missing and you must find it. This is admittedly the most action the game ever throws your way. For some reason, the last episode is in some ancient ruins in Mount Snowfall, stuck in a Golbat statue, and you must answer a trivia question to get it. And even though it's the same question every time, I always manage to get it wrong. I mean, look man, These just look like censors to me every single time. After you get the final episode, you're rewarded with Jirachi taking you to Camp Starlight in Viridian Forest to watch the entire anime again, projected on the stars. Simply magical. Now I have to admit, this game is barely a game. It all revolves around just watching things happen, so I kinda understand the negative outlook on it. But I love it because I just think it's so charming and funny, and hopefully this video showed some of that. Pikachu and all of the other Pokemon are super cute too, and the music is some of my favorite in any video game. Most importantly, the game just kinda makes me happy. Nostalgia and me being a big Pokemon fan definitely plays a role in this too, because I played the game when I was 8, and Gen 3 is the Pokemon gen I first played, but I still think this type of game would have potential today with the ability to add content with patches. I'd love a Pokemon channel too, with new Shop and Squirtle content, more funny news stories, new channels, and added areas to go to. I think if this stuff, along with more customization on where you put your stuff in your room, was added, this would have a lot of potential as a chill game you play a little bit each day. The sad reality is that this will never happen because I'm the only one who wants this in the universe, possibly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to... Oh, that must be my package. No.